All right, guys, this is going to be Salt Lake City Housewives Season 5, Episode 13, Room for Improvement, or Rooms for Improvement. Okay, guys, so this episode, all right, it's going to be it was a lot. It was kind of a lot. But, we start off with Meredith and her family that are at her house. And, this is after the bat mitzvah party. So, she had to kick Angie out. So they was talking about, or she was having them smell some different oil scents or something for her bath bombs that's about to come out. And Steph was like, forget about them bath bombs. What about that party? Like, what the heck was going on? What happened? So basically, Meredith was like, well, I heard her, Angie just been talking a lot of mess about people, and she was slut shaming Brittany, and I just didn't appreciate that. So I had to stick up for her because it triggered something in me. Something about uh, something in college or whatever that may have happened to her, where people, uh, you know, we'll say hazing or talking bad about people, rumors and nastiness, things like that. So she was like, I don't like that. So I just had to kick her out. And I'm already ain't cool with her, we ain't never resolved our issues. So she had to go. So we flip around to Angie's house, and mind you, everybody's packing and things like that because they're getting ready for this trip. And she's just telling her husband, like, she's just not sure if she wanted to go or not because obviously this beef between her and Meredith is going on. So she's just, like, it was real cruel and mean of her to do. It was in front of everybody, the kids, her mom, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this was a party. This was, people was here. Y'all was just showing out, like all of y'all. And yeah, so embarrassing, So she was just like, I don't know if I really want to go on this trip. But of course she gonna go. And this was a back and forth. You know how they be like, okay, Stephen over here, Meredith is talking with her family, and then Angie's over here talking with Steph. So when we flip back to Meredith, she just kind of breaking it down with Angie. Like, it started off with her husband basically coming after Brooks. And then, now it's the hearing aids and things. So she's shaming her impairment and things like that. And I'm like, oh my God, she wasn't even doing that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, she used it in a joke towards Bronwyn. Fine, whatever. But you, Meredith, take every little piece of thing and you put it on 10. So, girl, calm down with that. And of course, her kids had to be like, oh, it's not a impairment or something. It's a, what they say, a superpower or something. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Okay, so we do see Mary this episode for a hot little quick second. She goes over to Angie's house, and she happens to let herself in because she was knocking and things like that. But nobody was answering. Angie in there preparing and getting ready, so that's why she didn't answer the door. But she scared her a little bit, you know what I'm saying, sitting on the couch. And in this moment is where Mary lets Angie know what's going on with her. So Angie is the first person to know that, hey, my son, he ain't doing so hot. So that's why I've been going through what I'm going through. Maybe she missed some things and things like that. And Angie was like, okay, I'll keep this to myself because, of course, Mary said, don't be telling nobody, this is between me and you because, I ain't told nobody yet. So let's just keep it on the zip. And I guess I'll see y'all on the trip eventually because she's not going to show up on the first day when all the ladies come. She's just going to come up a little bit later. So, of course, people packing, Heather and all those things, getting ready, which this wasn't much of a Heather episode either. But she does have a couple words here because, she knows there's beef going on as well. I think, well, everybody know the beef. So she's kind of calling out the list. The list was called out a million times, like Lisa versus Whitney, Lisa versus Angie, Lisa versus Bronwyn, Meredith versus Angie, Mary versus Brittany, Bronwyn versus Brittany. Like, you know what I'm saying? We all know the beefs. But we at the airport, everybody get there, cool, calm, collective. And Bronwyn pulls out like these, it was like some blinged out passport cases. She's like, oh, I got these little gifts for everybody here. So I was like, oh, this is cute. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Lisa in the confessional, like, wait a minute. I told her she didn't have to bring a gift because this is my trip and I had gifts for everybody. So, what is she doing? And here at the airport, Bronwyn shows us her, like, the back of her leg. Oh my gosh, she got mauled by somebody's dog at the dog park because they was sitting in their car on their phone or some shit and just let their dog go without even paying attention. Like, who does that? Like, even if you supposedly got the best dog in the world, which obviously you didn't, sir or ma'am. I don't know, she didn't say. Hopefully she sue and do all the things that she needs to, and they actually euthanize that critter. Ooh, okay, sorry, but not sorry, because her leg was all bruised up, but yet she was stitched up and ready to go for this trip. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm all a little messed up, I'm gonna make it. And Heather, okay, you didn't have much going on this episode, but gross, shame on you, pissing all on the plane seat and shit. That is so disgusting because, yeah, what if somebody did have to use the bathroom behind you? Like Lisa said, I couldn't even go because it was pee all over the place. Heather like, oh, that was me, girl, and you gonna admit it? Ugh, yeah. All right, so we get to this villa, and I forgot what they are. They're in Mexico, guys. The trip is in Mexico. Porto something. I couldn't catch the second name. Sorry about that. But Porto something in Mexico. Happens to be Lisa's favorite little place in Mexico, obviously, because Vita tequila is made there. So take a shot. Well, no, not this episode. Maybe the next couple following. But we'll see how many times Vita gets mentioned on this trip. Oh, yeah. But back to the rooms, because it was two villas that's kind of, you know, in the same facility, attached to each other or next door to each other, we'll say. So with that means we're gonna have to split this group up, right? So with any show, any show that we watch, we know that when you split the group up, there's problems, right? Because that means, right, there's problems with people, and some people just ain't gonna like this split because they ain't gonna like where they are, right? So first villa will be Meredith, Heather, Lisa, and Brittany. Second villa will be the rest of the girls, Bronwyn, Angie, Whitney, and Mary when Mary gets there. So, of course, Bronwyn is like, I should be over in Villa 1 with my good friend Lisa. How did I get stuck in Villa 2 with some people that I don't really know? Plus, these people are people that I kind of got into it just a little, like, you know, I tried it with, should I say, because she didn't really get into it with them, but she definitely tried it, and they, Whitney said, girl, not today, and, you know, so Brown was like, I don't, is Lisa trying to punish me? Is she sending me a message? Like, what is going on? Because if she want me to be groveling back to her, no. She need to be groveling back to me. So while all the girls are unpacking and things of that nature, Angie and Whitney just, you know, was to the side a little bit. And Angie's like, yes, what you think about this split? You know what I'm saying? Because Bronwyn got kicked out of the Mean Girls group, so to speak, right? So as they're talking and Whitney brings up, like, yeah, like, obviously she don't see that, she don't see what Lisa trying to do to her, you know what I'm saying? Which Bronwyn does see it. She just kind of wondering why at this point, right? Because I thought we was better than that. I thought we were friends. Like, I've known you for 10 years. And you see me, because Bronwyn walks in at this point, and she's like, yeah. She sees that I'm, like, you know, I just got hurt, you know, and I've been close with her, and, you know, we've been working on the things with my daughter, you know, in that family situation and stuff like that, and whatever maybe things she might be going through with Todd. I can't remember if she mentioned that or not, but we know it's coming up. But we get a flashback in this instance, because we find out that, yeah, they were out to lunch with John, Lisa, and Bronwyn without Todd, having like lunch or dinner, because she was just trying to get a little advice from John about, you know, growing up without your your parents and things like that, right? Because of her daughter's situation. In this case, since her father obviously passed, she had her grandparents who were supposed to step up in that role, and others in the family who did not. So John was just saying, like, yeah, for me, Lisa was the one who did all the digging and things like that, thinking we was going to have a little Hollywood happy ending, which it didn't turn out that way. Like, the people who gave me up, they gave me up. Like, they wasn't looking for me. So when I found them, it wasn't nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he said that he probably, if he could rewind, it's probably something he wouldn't have did. You know what I'm saying? So Bronwyn is just looking for this advice on, like, what does she do now in this step that her daughter knows everything that's going on? It's like, so what's next, and how do I protect her in that, right? So we flash back to present day, because I'm like, that was a heavy clip for them to just throw in there like that. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, because I'm like, why? I mean, I know she was trying to explain her friendship and things with Lisa, but she didn't, like, that was just kind of a heavy flashback. It probably should have been something else, you know what I'm saying? But that's what we got. And Whitney in her confessional, she just like, this is just what Bronwyn get. Like, she tried it with me and Angie. It didn't work. And she sees that, just like the rest of us, when you get on Lisa's bad side, you're going to feel it. And you're no better than, like, basically, right, you're no better than the rest of us when you on Lisa's bad side. So hopefully you're going to learn this lesson for future. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your lesson, girl. So you have to take it. Oh, yeah, because I was just looking at my notes about that when Whitney was in her confessional. Because, yeah, you have to take it, because when we back at the camping situation, right, you try to throw them under the bus and things like that. So that's what I was saying, coming for them, or tried it, should I say. Yeah, I said tried it. Because, yeah, you was trying to throw Whitney under the bus with Heather, and then you tried to throw, Angie out there at Meredith, or at Lisa. I can't remember which one, how it went, but either way, it all failed. So this is the backfire. So Lisa and Meredith on their side settling in and things like that, and they're just like, yeah, with Bronwyn bringing the gifts, Lisa was like, yeah, I talked to her about this and I told her not to bring the gifts, but she bought them anyway. So I'm just like, what is she trying to do here? Like, what's her angle? I'm just a little confused at that. And, I guess maybe, she know that they're not on the best of terms. So I'm not sure how they got lost in translation. Either way, she's just like, well, it's my trip. I'm basically in charge, so I was going to give the gifts. But I guess Brown was going to do what she wants to and whatever. So, I don't like it stepping on my toes, or, so to speak. And Meredith brings up her thing. It's like, yeah, well, me and Angie, I still don't understand it. Like, why would she be slut shaming people? And, the gift that she left me, I bought it back here and I'm going to give it back to her, right? Which turns out to be, it was some shampoo and conditioner and I think a book or something like that. She like, I'm going to give her this gift back, because what was she trying? Like, I can't even use it. I use keratin or something in my hair, like a keratin treatment. So she needed a non-sulfate shampoo. Okay, whatever, who cares? She was going to give it back, because basically she's like, yeah, Angie been going around. She been slut shaming. She just been getting away with all this mess that she been talking to people. So I'm not going to take it anymore, and I'm about to stand up for Brittany and I guess myself, because I'm still mad at her. All right, so day one. This is day one, guys. We are officially settled in, and it's time to go and eat. So before we go eat, let's enjoy a few little margaritas, of course, made with Vida tequila. Anywho, in the midst of this, Brittany did have an announcement, because why? I don't know. She just felt it in their spirit to share with all the ladies that, one of her daughters reached out, and they have been communicating, and things have been going well to the point to where the girl don't came over and don't stay the night and everything. So she happy go lucky, because she explains that she has 2 kids, 2 girls, and I guess once she got married the second time to their stepfather, somewhere in their relationship got strained. So she's trying to work that relationship back up, right? All the ladies was looking like, okay, girl, like, we thought you was about to announce something about Jared or something, because every time you make an announcement, it was about Jared, and you was breaking up or not breaking up. But okay, your daughters, okay, girl, it's good for you. Okay, so this is where things get a little tricky, right? Because Bronwyn is still upset about this room situation, so she tries to bring it up to Lisa, like, girl, what's up? Like, why you put me in these rooms with these people? I thought I was gonna be with you, like, me and you my friend. And I mean, right, you brought me on the show, so why are you doing this to me? And Lisa was just trying to say, like, oh, it's no big deal. Everybody got their own spaces, all the rooms are nice, this and this and that. Like, it's nothing, like, instead of trying to explain, like, well, Brittany does have beef with this and this and that. So I just figured it would just be easier if she stayed over on our side. And because such and such had beef with Meredith, that it would just be easier that, we be on this side and versus them on this side, because, Angie and Whitney and them, they got beef with all of us over here. So it would just be easier to keep us here versus have them there. And when I weighed out the odds, it just made more sense to, you know what I'm saying? Like, like this, which in Lisa's mind would make sense to everybody who watches TV. Okay, we get it. You was trying to be a little sneaky deaky trickster on there, because you was trying to be right. You was being a little shady with it, just a little bit. You was being petty. Just admit it. Petty. That's the word. You was being petty, girl. And they're doing this thing back and forth to where it's like, it's really frustrating, because the way Brown and argue is like, you say, okay, like, well, I can't think of a good example. Like, okay, I don't like you because you smell like onions. Well, okay, so are you saying that you don't like me because of the smell of the onions, or because you don't like me, or that you don't like onions? Like, it's a weird, and then she wants you to answer to say, like, well, yeah, it's not the onions, it's you. Like, I don't know, that's a really bad example, but that's the way Brownman likes to argue, and then she flips it almost to where it don't mean, like, to where it's literal. And it's like, girl, I'm not trying to say that you really smell like the onion, or that I don't like that. I'm not trying to say I don't like the onion. I'm just trying to say that you smell like the onion. Okay, let me stop. Either who, Brownman just wants Lisa to, like, acknowledge that, okay, I understand how you feel, but this is why I put you over there. So just be cut and dry and not beating around the bush, because Lisa does a lot of beating around the bush. And they're just arguing on their way to the dinner table, because the waiter's like, hey guys, it's time to come eat. So they argue all the way to the dinner table. They get to the dinner table and they're still arguing. And it's like, okay, we flip over to Angie, because somebody always has to jump in this. The argument's just gonna keep rolling. When it comes to Salt Lake, that's what I will say. It start from one argument and it just rolls on around the table, right? So Angie jumps in like, whose bag is this at my seat? And she looks and she's like, oh my God, this is my gift. You gave me my gift back. And of course, Meredith's like, yes, I didn't want that gift in the first place. Like, why did you even come? And she's like, well, I came because, I want to support you. I'm very religious and I support all types of things like that and religious and I respect and, but I was clearly, shocked that I was kicked out. I was embarrassed. Like, how dare you in front of all your friends and family? And Meredith's like, yeah, because you were slut shaming people and talking shit. And this is where, of course, they're going back and forth because she's like, well, I didn't slut shame anybody and this and there and that. And Brittany was like, well, no, it was me that you were coming at and you were slut shaming me. And she was just trying to have my back. And she was like, well, Brittany, I wasn't even trying to go there with you or whatever. I said that your high body count hair. And I said that you had slutty outfits or something bullshit like that. And Brittany, yeah, and then you said I had porn star tits. Well, yeah, because this is like going back and forth. If you could take a shot about how many times they said the word slut. I mean, drunk as a skunk by the time I got done with this, okay? Because and I couldn't believe it. The waiter comes like, we're gonna eat soon. And they're going at it, right? And by this time, actually before the waiter comes, because Angie picks up the bag and she kind of she did kind of throw it, drop it. That little, take this, because you were the one who needed with your dry ass hair. Like, And Brittany's like, oh, don't throw that at me. How dare you? Oh, my God. Because it, spilled the glasses and things like that. That is so low of you and this and that. And she's like, well, I didn't throw it. It just kind of dropped or whatever. Like, girl, no, you dropped it. Ooh, yeah, I didn't realize this is going to be a little bit long one because the argument was just arguing, right? And it was just all this slut this, porn this, you said. And, you've been slut shaming this whole time and this and that because you've been saying I had this with 3 guys. Like, the 3 guys, the wine, like, girl. They keep bringing it up. I'm really hoping that they can get past this at some point, but we'll see once we get to the reunion, right? But they rewind the tape because eventually Bronwyn's like, look, I can tell you how this stuff started. Like, and yeah, the waiter was trying to get their orders in amongst the argument because Lisa at some point kind of jumps in. But Andrew was just trying to say, like, look, well, I didn't necessarily start it. Brittany's the one who started it, and that's how everything rolled upon it. And then I'm the one who got kicked out for it, but it was Brittany's fault. And Meredith, you don't even know what you're talking about because you ain't hear nothing. So that's when Lisa was saying, like, well, you guys need to, she yells, like, you guys need to speak in facts. Everybody's speaking, you need to talk in facts. Because Braun was like, okay, if you want to do facts, then this is how it really went. Brittany is the one who started it, and she told me, which I'm the one being bone carrier, whatever you want to call it. And I go back to tell Angie, and Angie, of course, got mad, and she went back and told Brittany. And that's how the argument started because obviously Bronwyn and Angie had that thing going on because she was already mad. So why not start shit? Boop. And she came with Brittany because remember, and they're not even friends like that. So Salt Lake City, yeah, it's a circle, a web of a whole bunch of crap. And Heather's just chilling. Like I said, Heather was chilling this episode, and Whitney. Whitney was chilling this episode too, like sipping a wine and minding their business. So at this point, let's stop slut shaming. Let's stop porn star shaming because why? We're mad at each other. So this is where we're going with it. So the argument still kind of goes a little bit back and forth about that. They bring up the high body counts where you're the one who said this and this and this and that. They do roll a few of the bean footage just so we can see how the conversation actually went that they're talking about when it comes to the sleeping with the so-called three guys or whatever guys. Listen, Brittany a grown woman. Brittany single. Brittany gonna do what she wanna do. And like she said, nobody should be slut shaming nobody, sex shaming anybody. It's 2024. I'm a single lady. I can date. I can do what I want to. I'm not sleeping with everybody. And of course, they're coming back at her like, well, girl, what about that lingerie that you had and this and that? And you was with dude number one. Ain't nobody buying you a little lingerie if you ain't getting naked for it. You ain't using it. And you said that you used it. When some of the clip did say, yeah, Jared. But girl, we already know. We don't, listen. Do you know you sleeping with that man? I don't know if you sleeping with dude number one, but we definitely know you're sleeping with Jared. So it don't matter who you sleeping with, like I said, because she's a grown ass woman. And all y'all being real prudish at this point, because y'all married. Look, because y'all married and y'all might be bored in y'all little marriages with y'all little mans for how many, 10 plus years that y'all been together. Who cares? Let Brittany live. She living the best life. It's Heather over there who trying to be. Heather don't talk about nothing that she be doing with her. I'm not going to tell nobody, even though I'm not practicing in the Mormon stuff anymore, but I don't want nobody to know that I'm out here banging, whatever black dudes. It's like, no, I'm just playing, girl. I'm just, listen. All right, so we're going to end the episode right here because, like I said, it was just, this was an episode of arguments of this about sluts. And who said what and why did you say it? And I was mad. And why did you put me in this room? Because I'm mad. Because I flew coach. So you think I'm ungrateful? You think I can't? Yeah, because, I totally forgot about that. When Lisa and Bronwyn was going at it. Because remember, Lisa did Bronwyn, they put them in that coach seat. And Lisa, of course, they'll say a little bit of get back because, obviously Lisa probably couldn't afford the private jet to fly everybody there. So, of course, you know what I'm saying, like that. And, she did it was a little dig, like, well, I know that you like the luxuries of such and such and such and such. And so she's like, oh, yeah, so you're trying to call me ungrateful after you was the first one who was crying and loop-de-loop about being in the coach for 45 minutes, girl. Ooh, yes. But this is where we're going to end. We're going to end it with Meredith and Angie making up. Okay? Meredith just like, okay, look, I'm going to apologize because I might have jumped in too hot. I just came in at the end, right? I heard what I heard, so that's why I got hot, because I was already mad about some stuff that happened between us. And that's, that shaming of whatever, it triggered me just a tad. So guess what? I'm going to just let that rest. And we're going to move on, okay? So Andy's like, okay, I like this. Let's toast. Let's keep this moment. Yes. Because it's not going to last too long. It never does. But at least at this point, hopefully we can pin it and keep the cork on it, okay? And we can move on. But that was Salt Lake City. I was like, ooh, it was going to get a little long because it was a lot of back and forth to break down, which is why I did not want to, I would have had to literally write word for word, mouth for mouth to what they said. And that would have took maybe an hour. And I'm we just going, But anyway, thank y'all for watching. I know. Have a good one. Peace.